A very good evening to you, ladies and gents, and welcome back to the Q8 Pilot channel. It is 1700 Zulu, 2000 hours local time here in Kuwait City, Kuwait. Want to welcome all of you guys in chat, and I am quite excited to actually do this live stream today. And we are going to be taking a look at the long forgotten FlightFactor Boeing 767-400ER. This aircraft at release was actually one of the better aircraft created by FlightFactor, but it came with a lot of issues, including ground handling. It has received numerous updates. It has been under constant updates since its release. In this live stream today, we are going to be taking it for a short flight in Turkey. We are at boardroom right now, and we are going to be heading to Ankara in Turkey. Our flight today is approximately about 55 minutes of flight time, and it should be a fun flight across the Turkish airspace here, regional flight today, and we are flying a fictitious flight today on a real livery, Turkish Airlines, but this route is actually not flown by Turkish Airlines or the 767. Nevertheless, it should be sufficient for us to review the aircraft, its features, and by the end of the stream, I'm sure all of you will be able to decide whether this is something that works for them or does not work for them, but I'm also going to be giving you my insights on the aircraft. We're going to begin here by a quick visual inspection of the aircraft, which looks very nice if you ask me in terms of its texturing. This is one of the default liveries that comes with the 767, and the 400ER is actually an aircraft that was the predecessor of the 777. So there are a lot of similarities in the cockpit when it comes to the design of the aircraft. I have to say that FlightFactor, like all their aircraft, have created a visually, I would say, authentic representation, but from the visual quality perspective, I think it can use a little bit of work, though I think it's developed to a acceptable standard. Now, this aircraft, if you are not an owner of the 767 300 version, and you are purchasing this aircraft for the first time, it's going to cost you $79. That is a lot of money for an add-on. So today, we're going to be really answering the question on whether this is still worth it, worth flying an X-plane, and whether you should have it in your hangar. A quick look here at the cockpit, and you will take notice of that the cockpit is actually a very well textured cockpit, similar to the 757. It has some really nice details here. The panel work is quite nice. You can see again a lot of similarities with the 777, especially the design of the cockpit, but the it is not as high fidelity as the 777 by FlightFactor, without a doubt. But we're going to be taking a look here at the systems. Overall, I've done. This is actually the first flight that I do on the 767 in a very, very long time. So I'm going to be exploring things with you guys here as we go through this live stream. Let's take a quick look at the passenger cabin. And you can see here that this is, it has a passenger cabin. It's not by any means as good as their 777, but it is there, again, very low quality textures, but it has a passenger cabin. For those of you who like passenger cabins, it has one. It's just not as good as the 777. Alex Aviation, welcome aboard. Glad to have you here. Christopher, welcome aboard. Glad to have you with us. Mr. Saruk, welcome aboard. Glad to have you here. And Mr. Olivier is with us. Mr. Siambella84, welcome aboard. Glad to have you here. And we have Mr. Flyby from the US of A. Welcome aboard. Glad to have you guys with me this evening. You can find all my specs by typing !specs. It will give you the link to go and take a look at my specs. So let's begin with the prep first. We're going to bring up the electronic flight bag. This is one of the things I like about FlightFactor aircraft, is that they have a reasonably well-developed electronic flight bag, and this has been there for a very long time. So this is what they've started with. They have not upgraded the EFB, but I think it works very well. I'd love to see their 777 EFB sort of integrated, or have the current EFB redesigned just to work like the 777. But anyway, we're going to go to the operations. We're going to go to the ground, and we are going to say gate configuration, fuel truck. All right. And then the passenger bus. And let's see here. We don't need, actually, we can put the GPU. Let's put the GPU. No problem. Okay. So now we have everything here, and now we can set up the aircraft. Now, every time I've done a sim brief, transfer of data, it always tells me insufficient fuel. Always. I've never done a sim brief flight plan into the 767 or 757, and it actually liked the figures from sim brief. But anyway, that's okay. Let's go ahead and take a look here at the number of passengers. So 220 passengers. So that's that. The cargo weight is 5.5. So that's 5,500. And then the fuel weight is going to be the final reserve plus the alternate. So if we add this to the block fuel, so we have 3, 1, that's 4, that's 5 with the block fuel. So 12,000, about 17. So we'll put just 18,000. All right, so 18,000. And then we're going to say optimize center of gravity. We need to go to the airplane, and we're going to say open all, just so that it doesn't keep telling us this is closed and that is closed. And now we can say load aircraft. All right, so now it's loading the plane, and we can start the power up. Okay, so first we're going to come over here to the overhead panel. And we're going to go to the battery switch. Battery is on. I do like the sounds. I, on purpose, removed all the sound packs so that you guys can hear the default sounds. I think it's important that you hear the default sounds. Standby power to auto. And now we can hear the internal sounds. This is going to...
It might be a tad too warm in the cabin.
All right, so it says it's a bit warm in the cabin. That's okay. We're going to come down here. We're going to turn external power is available. So we're going to turn it on. We're going to turn on the bus ties, utility buses, and then we're going to go ahead and let's go ahead and start the APU. Just leave it there. Okay, let us wait, and it will then start in a little bit. One of the things you'll see is that it has the self-test. These has already performed the self-test, but yeah, it works just exactly like the real aircraft, where it does the self-test. And then the displays come to life, as you can see here. Okay, perfect. So we're going to come over here. We are going to set the adheres to nav. There we go. That's nav. We're going to go ahead and turn on. We'll leave those for later. We're going to turn on the pumps here. There we go. And let's see here. We have the APU gen. We'll turn that on. Okay, we'll leave everything here. We'll leave everything here. Emergency lights are armed. We leave everything here. That's fine. Total quantity, we have 18,000 kilograms of fuel. Window heat is on. And non-smoking signs. Seat belts are on. We'll put the cabin altitude control on auto. We will also put all the temps here on auto. Right, so that's auto, trim air, recirc fans, and we'll put the flow here on auto, packs on auto. Right, so those are okay. And then the isolation valves and APU. Okay, now we can hear the APU. All right, so the APU has kicked in, and we can remove the external power in just a bit. Okay, perfect. Okay, are you using 8K textures mod or not? No, I am not. Sim Fanatic is in the house, ladies and gents. Welcome aboard. Glad to have you here. Okay, so we're going to come to the FMC, and we're going to note the model, which is the 767-400. The ARAC is the latest ARAC database, and we can go to the position in it. We are currently at Bodrum in Turkey. So this is Bodrum, sorry, Bodrum, not Boredom, but Bodrum, LTFE. So we're going to remove that, and then we're going to set LTFE, and at that we're going to select the current GPS position, and now we have alignment. We're going to next go to the route, and we're going to insert the origin airport, and the destination is Ankara, which is Istanbul International in Ankara, and that would be Lima Tango Alpha Charlie. And we are today Turkish Airlines 4607, so THY 4607, and we're going to enter that there. And next we are going to go to the departure. So the departure today is out of 28 left through the Akbu 1 Echo. Akbu 1 Echo, that's the one. And the departure runway is 28 left. And then next we're going to go to the routes. We are going to go to the next page. And then we're going to go and take a look here at our flight plan. So after Akbuk, which is the transition out of our SID, we are going to take Uniform Tango 241, Uniform Tango 241, and then we're going to exit at Den. So we enter that here, and then we'll take Uniform Tango 54, Uniform Tango 54, and exit at Halil, or Halil. Okay, perfect. And then it's the arrival. So we're going to say activate, execute, and then we're going to go to the departure. Let's go back to the index, the arrival, and the arrival is going to be the Halley 2 Papa. Halley 2, where's Halley 2? Halley 2 Papa. That's the one there. And then we have multiple of runways. 21 right is the one we want. So let's take a quick look here. We'll take the Zulu. 21 right, there we go. So we'll take the Zulu or localizer. So we'll take Zulu, which is ILS 21RZ, and then there is a bug transition. So let's take a quick look here at the chart and see where's this bug transition. Okay, so let's see. Buck, that is the buck transition. We don't need the buck transition. It's a VOR station. Well, we can. This comes here. Yeah, okay, fine. Let's select the buck transition. And then we're going to say execute. And then we're going to go to the route. We're going to go to the legs page. And we're going to make sure there is one discontinuity here. So we're going to select Halil. And then put it there. And then execute. And then now it should be fine. There is another one, so vectors to buck, which is okay. This is the final one there, so we can actually select from vectors to buck. We can select this one here, put it there, and say execute. And then we're going to have a nice turn coming this way. And we can actually take a look here. We're going to go to the plan here and step through. So let's step through the flight. Let me increase the range a little bit here so you guys can see what's going on. Step, and then we come here, and that is the turn to intercept. So we're going to go to buck here, intercept the localizer for runway 21 right, 21 right at Ankara. Okay. Perfect. So this is done, and this is also done here. So we're going to just remove that here. And the next thing we're going to do is we need to enter all the information. So if we go to the init ref and click here on the gross weight, it will automatically bring in all the details. The only thing we need now is the, so we're going to put the final reserve 4 and 1, so 5,000. We're just going to put 1 here. And then the cruise altitude for this flight today is going to be 33,000 feet, so 330. Enter that there. And the cost index is 131. Wow, you can tell that this aircraft burns a lot of fuel. 212.39, 212, 39. Excellent. And then we're going to go to the limit here. We have this is selected. Yeah, we can put 76 there. Valid entry. All right. Well, we're not gonna. We can derate the climb a little bit. Right. Takeoff. So flaps 5 for departure. Okay. Flaps 5. There we go. CG. It says INOP. Let's see. Let's select the speeds on. All right, so those are our speeds. It doesn't want to put the CG for some reason. Let's see if the CG is available in the iPad. So if we go to ground. All right, so the CG is 20. Let's see if we can enter it here. 20. No, it doesn't want to take it in. Okay. Hello there, Jesse26. Welcome aboard, my friend. Glad to have you here. Aviation 1 Joyer 21. Welcome aboard. Glad to have you with us this evening. Okay, so all is good here, and we can put that away. And the aircraft is fully ready. We're going to turn on the flight directors on. Let's set our altitude to 33,000 feet. It has already set the IS for us. Right, so that is set. And everything else here is looking good. That goes to auto brake. We can now come here and we can turn off, actually leave that on. We can turn that off, the external power. And we can leave those off for the time being. Okay, all right, let's turn on our fuel pumps. Perfect. Yeah, this is now, it's going to do the self-test again. But thankfully, we have all the data already here. So we're going to come to the second unit as well. We're going to put this on VNAV and remove that. Perfect. So everything is set up here. And now we can come back to the electronic flight bag. We're going to go to airplane, and we're going to close all the doors. Then we're going to go to ground. We're going to remove the GPU, remove the fuel truck, and remove the passenger bus. And if we look here now at the aircraft, you'll see that all the doors are closed and the aircraft is ready to go. Okay, perfect. Before we actually proceed, we do have those wing views. That's what I wanted to show you. And they are not bad, but they are also not great. Okay, so everything here is good. We need to set the altimeter. So let's go ahead and grab the altimeter real quick. We're going to go to the weather here in Bodrum International. And the altimeter is 1008. So let's bring up... one of the things I really like about FlightFactor, in all their aircraft, you can pop all the screens out, which is very, very useful. So 1008, let's set that. 1008. And let's make sure that it's set on this side as well. 1008 is now set. And everything is now ready for our departure. We're going to set this to VOR1. VOR1, we have them here. Perfect. And finally, let's see here. What do we have here? We have, this is at 7,000. That's fine. Alt reporting off. All right, so we'll leave everything here as it is. Everything here as it is. Everything else is looking good. Okay, perfect. we're ready to go ahead and turn on the beacon light. So it has two switches here for the anti-collision, the red, and then you turn on the white, which is equal to the strobe. So position lights are on, red beacon lights are on, and we can verify here that the beacon light is actually flickering now. There you go. You can see it clearly. Okay, perfect. And we're ready for pushback. So we are going to come here. Let's verify everything is good here. APU is already running and all is good. Okay, perfect. We are going to click here. Okay. Okay. So let's go to better pushback and start the push.
Cockpit. Please show me where you want to go.
All right, we're going to position the aircraft here.
Ground to cockpit. Tow is driving up.
And the tow is now driving up. Very nice looking aircraft, the 767. For anyone thinking of getting this, you need to get the Centerline Sims Sound Pack and the Mango Studio GE CF6 engine mods. Hello there, Golden Aviation Real. How are you doing, my friend? And thank you very much for the support. Right, here's the pushback truck. And here's, by the way, X-Plane with Sim Heaven X World Pro and the map enhancement. This is, again, look at this. This is looking really, really nice. I mean, X-Plane is looking really, really nice now. Yeah.
Okay, all doors and
there you
hatches are
can
closed.
see
Ready to connect.
here the houses, they look different, and there is a mosque here. Again, really very, very nice scenery now in X-Plane. Okay, so the pushback truck is in position. There we go. Excellent. Ladies and gents, Rand Cooley is in the house and coming in with 5 gifted Q8 pilot memberships. Rand, I really don't know what to say, man. You're making me blush, my friend. Thank you very much for the support, guys. Please be sure to say thank you
and bypass pin
if
Release
you have
parking brake.
if you've received a gifted membership from Rand. Rand, thank you very much. This is like a couple of months now of gifted memberships. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
And you may start engines.
I need to get back into X-Plane 12. Yes, you do, Symphanatic. All right, pushback is in progress. And now we need to come up here. We need to turn off the pads for engine start. So off and off. And we're going to begin with the engine, with the right engine. So ground. Here we see the engine is now spooling. There you go. You can see it spooling. And at the magenta line here, we can introduce fuel. So there we go. Right engine is coming up. These sounds are, you know, they're not really all that great, to be very honest with you, but they pass. They pass. Yeah. Very nice looking aircraft, I have to say. Those wings look beautiful, but they need better texturing. Okay. So, all right, so we're going to come here now, and we are going to make sure that this is on. This is on, so the engine generators, and now we can start the left engine. And the left engine is now spooling here, and we wait for the magenta line, and then we introduce fuel. There we go. Perfect.
Operation complete.
This takes me
Set parking
back.
brake.
I used to travel in the back of Delta 767-400 several times a year for work. Oh, very fine. That's very, very cool. Thanks for sharing that with us. Can you do another review of the FFA. FFA 320. FFA 320. What is that, Jesse? I'm not sure. FFA. FlightFactor. Oh, okay. No. We're not going to go there. Okay. So all is good there. We're just waiting for the, we're going to wait for the pushback to disconnect. Why it hasn't, it waits, is it waiting for the...
Disconnecting tow. Stand by.
Okay, so now it's disconnecting the tow. We're going to come here and set the packs to auto. Engine bleeds are on. APU bleed is off. And we'll leave those on. We can come here and turn off the APU. And the APU generator can now go off. And let's take a quick look here. Make sure everything is okay. And we can disconnect. Perfect. So everything is good. Everything is set here. And the APU, parking brake APU gen is off. That should... what is that? Wow. Yeah, this is what happens when you have, you know, real traffic that is not synced with the...
disconnected and bypass bin has been removed.
But you can see that all the aircraft are actually heading to the same runway, to the same departure runway, which is 28 left. That's 28 left. So we'll take a look. There's also general aviation aircraft here at Boardroom as well, which is nice to see. NSN. All right, so that's 28 left. We are departing which runway? 28 left. Okay, perfect. All right, folks, we are good to go. And we can now set our flaps to flaps 5. All right, that's flaps 5. Could use better texturing without a doubt. But it actually looks very good. I love watching flaps deploy. All right, flaps 5 are set. And we are good to go. We're going to come down here. And let's take a quick look here. What do we have here? So this is the taxi runway turn off. So this is the taxi light is on. And everything else here is set. We are good to go. We're going to turn on the auto throttle. And we're going to release the parking brake. And off we go. Wow, this looks really good. All right, so yeah, definitely nice to have to see general aviation aircraft in the sim. All right, let me set this up. All right, perfect. Why is this guy just waiting here? Looks like it's waiting for clearance, so we're just gonna turn and we'll let him figure out what he wants to do. That's the hold short for 28 left. So we're gonna turn on the we're gonna hit the brakes here. We're gonna turn on the runway turn off lights, taxi lights off, landing lights are on, anti-collision lights are on. Strobes are on. Everything here is now set and we are ready to go. Right, let's set our transponder to TARA if we can. Why is it not doing what it's supposed to do? Ah, there we go. Okay. All right, and that is the runway. I think we made the wrong turn. I think maybe we should have turned back there, but that's okay. And this is your toga button, And there should be, the toga buttons are there as well. So you can use whatever you're comfortable with. That is really a grand view of the 767 here, getting ready for departure. All right, we're good. Let's go. All right, toga. I love the smoothness of X-Plane. All right, here we go. 80 knots. We are flying a bit heavy, I suppose. All right, we're coming up to V1 and rotate. And the aircraft is not rotating. Come on. Come on. Well. I don't know what's going on, but the aircraft wouldn't rotate. So I don't know why. What do you guys think? What happened? Wow. That's so bad, isn't it? All right. Let's try this again. It's a problem of the 400ER. Yeah, probably. I'm currently 7 hours 46 minutes into my flight from Munich. All right, let's go to 28 left here. We'll say confirm, start new flight. I really don't know what happened. Again, I'm testing this with you guys for the very first time. I haven't flown the aircraft before today. Someone write to FF about this, but still no fix. Oh, really? So this is a known issue. Oh, wow. Okay. Well, what do we do then? What do we do, guys? Do we try again, or this is a known issue and it just won't work? Okay, let's try to do this one more time, okay? So we're gonna turn on standby power, and let's put this on nav. I'll just do this real quick, and hopefully we can get it to fly this time. Okay, hopefully the FMC is still it retained all the information, but we'll see. Let's turn on the APU. We're going to turn on those as well. We're going to turn... No, we don't need that. We need those. We need the window heat. Okay, we're going to turn these on. All right, so this is waiting for the APU to start. Let's see here. FMC. Position in it. No, it looks like we're going to have to do the whole thing again. So LTFE to LTAC. Okay, we don't need that. It's okay. So the departure is Akbu 1 Echo, Akbu 1 Echo, which is this one here, 28 left. Okay, so everything is powering up. We're gonna go, before we start messing things up, let me very quickly come down here and bring this up. Let's see here. Ground. Yeah, I think we need to do all of this again. So that's fine. Let's come over here real quick, and we're going to see 220. So 220. Cargo weight is 5.5. And the fuel is 18,000. Optimized CG. Okay, so the CG is optimized. We're going to come to the airplane. We're going to say open all. We're going to come back to airplane. We're going to say ground, and we're going to say load. Oh, no fuel truck. Okay, so passenger bus, and then we can say load. All right, so it's loading the fuel now and the passengers. Perfect. Okay, and we can continue now with the... why does it say flaps 15? All right, let's put this back. Let's take a look here. So these are on. This is on. The APU is now running. Perfect. So let's come over here real quick. We're going to set all of these to auto. Okay, and turn on the trim air and the recirc fans. We're going to set this to auto. Isolation valves on. APU is on. We'll set this to auto. And emergency lights armed. And let's see. Okay, so everything's good there. Let's come very quickly here and set up our flight. So we're going to go to the route. And we're going to say activate and execute. Next, we're going to go to the next page. And we're going to select our next waypoint. So if we go up here, we are Uniform Tango 241. Uniform Tango 241. Exiting at DEN. DEN, yes. And then Uniform Tango 54. Uniform Tango 54. And then that is an exit at Halil. And then it is the... so we're going to execute that. We're going to go back to the index, select the arrival. The arrival is the Hali 2 Papa. So this is Hali 2 Papa. There we go. And we're going to select the ILS 21. Right, it says now it's not used, but anyway, that's fine. We're going to take the Zulu through the buck transition, execute, go to the route, go to the Lex page, and we're going to go back here, select Halil in there, and then next we're going to select buck, the vectors, and then we're going to say select. Okay, perfect. And next we are going to go to RTA data. Let's go to, all right. So here we're going to set the gross weight. Reserves is 1,000. Cruise altitude 330. Index is 212. 212. Winds are 212.39. 212.39. Hopefully this time it works. And thrust limit. So we're going to leave everything here as it is. We're going to set flaps 5. And we're going to set our speeds. And let's see here. Everything else here is good. Fine. So if we look at the CG. So if I look down here. So yeah, I mean, this is... No. Yeah, we are in the green, so we're fine. Okay. All right, so everything's good here. This is on rejected takeoff. All right, I think we're good here. We can start the, we can remove now all the equipment and give this another shot. What do you guys think? Yeah, so we can come back here, go to ground. We do have alignment. Okay, so we can remove the passenger, fuel truck. We can go to airplane, close all the doors, and we are ready now to start the engines. Okay, perfect. Let's come over here. We'll set this to VNAV. And we're going to make sure that we have 33,000 feet set here. Right, 33,000 feet. Okay, Perfect. This time I'm not going to use toga. I'll just do maximum power. All right, we're going to turn off the packs for engine start. Let's go ahead and select ground. Engine is now spooling. Right, there we go. We can start the engine. Right, perfect. Let's see here. We have everything here on, everything here on. Okay, now we can start the second engine. And in the meantime, we'll come here, turn on the landing lights. Here in preparation for departure. Right, we're good here. Let's give it fuel. And we're going to set our TCAS. TARA. Okay. Let's set our flaps. Flaps 5 for departure. And we're going to come here. Let's see, just the engine. Okay, that's good. So we're going to set this back to auto. And engine bleeds are on. APU bleed off. And the APU can go to the off position. APU gen is off. And now we're pretty much ready to go now. And everything is set for the departure. Let's set the altimeter real quick. Now, if this time it doesn't work, guys, then I think we have reached a verdict on the 767, which isn't very good. It's already not very good, but okay, so everything here is set. Flaps are set. Everything's good. Okay. All right. So I think we are ready to go now. And if actually this doesn't work, there is something I want to show you guys. And I think something that you'll really appreciate. I was actually planning to show it to you during cruise, but that's okay. We can do it now. Okay. So everything is good here. We are going to release the parking brake, and we are going to do maximum power for takeoff, just to avoid the issue. All right, so there we go. Again, still drawing, by the way, on the FMC is really, really bad. As you can see here. What is this? Is this it? Birds? Looks like we have birds. Yeah, those are, looks like those are birds flying. Yeah. Okay. All right. So drawing on the FMC still is not good. Let's go ahead and give it full power. All right. Release the brakes. And hopefully this time it takes off. I was actually suspecting that, you know, I was thinking maybe it has to do something with the yoke, but the yoke is actually working just fine. There's an aircraft, incoming aircraft. There we go. This time, it has lifted off. Thank God. All right, we're going to bring back the power now so that we don't burn the engines. And positive rate, gear up. Okay. LNAV, VNAV, Command A. Wow, looks really good, huh? All right, let's retract the flaps. Right, we're going to set this here, and we can actually fly direct to Upland. So if we go here, let me see here, Akbuk. We can go to direct to Akbuk. So let me go select Akbuk. And we'll say execute. And now we will fly direct to Akbuk. That is a very nice view here from the passenger window. All right, so at least we are airborne. Hey, Stan, welcome aboard. Glad to have you here. Greetings, Q8. I am currently 7 hours and 46 minutes into my flight from Munich to Calgary in the Tolos A34. The 600. Okay, the relief crew is flying the plane, so I can watch your stream. Oh, thank you very much for joining us. Glad to have you here with us this evening. Yeah, this was a really bad start to an aircraft that we haven't flown in a very long time. So I really don't know why the issue happened. The aircraft just wouldn't take off. It wouldn't lift. It just did not want to rotate for some reason. But on second attempt, it seems like it has worked. So that's good. At least we can enjoy the flight. So that gives me a little bit of time also today to show you something very, very neat that has the developer of it has come back to me, has sent it to me over email and said, hey, Q8, you know, no pressure, just take a look, tell me what you think, and if you think it's worth it, just show your community. Right, transition altitude at 10,000 feet. All is looking good here. Perfect. The terrain over Turkey is very nice because it has a lot of mountains, so it makes it for a very interesting terrain when you fly over Turkey. And you really look like it does look. There is a lot of similarities to the 777, especially the cockpit. All right, so 900,000. Let's turn off our landing lights, and we can leave the turn off lights. We can turn off. Okay, everything else here is good. Okay, perfect. Okay, the old's good. Here we are at 10,000 feet. Now, you've seen. One of the problems in the 777 is it does not draw the flight route properly, and this has been something since the release of the aircraft, which is kind of a shame because the aircraft has received a lot of updates, but unfortunately none of them have addressed some of the long-lasting problems with the 777. Here's a look at the outside. Definitely, the wing views look nice, and the 767. As you can see here, we can go out a little bit. There, you can see it clearly. Very nice with map enhancement. Really excellent. Looks really, really good. Okay, so we continue our climb now to our cruise altitude. I'm going to increase the range here, so we can see our top of climb there and top of descent a little later on. And oh, it's this guy here. Okay, he wants us to do the safety announcements and what have you. So, were the hydraulics on? Yes, the hydraulics were on, for sure. Everything was on. I really don't know what happened in the first attempt to rotate. Okay. So while we are in cruise, guys, while we are climbing, beg your pardon, there is something that I want to show you, which came from, from a friend. So this is something called Bad Weather Finder. And quite frankly, I have found that this is a very, very useful and quite intuitive, flight planning tool. Now you can change this to dark if you like. Maybe it makes things a little more, clearer, maybe. But this is actually what this does. So this helps you find the kind of weather that you want to fly in. And it's done in a very smart way through this. This is called badweatherfinder.com. Okay, so the website is badweatherfinder.com, and it works for Microsoft Flight Sim and for X-Plane. Although it says it's for MSFS, but actually works for anything that you want. So first, you'll find that there is a flight mode. It says choose how you find your next challenge. So there's a flight finder, and there's a weather board. So you can select what weather you want. So from here, it says where the weather should be in 90 minutes. Okay. Now you can select your regions from this menu here, and you can come here and select, for example, precipitation. And now that you select precipitation, it will pick the places where it's currently raining. Okay, so for example, you have here Oslo, rain, so there's there's a minus there, so light rain. And now you can say fly to or fly from. And as you can see here, it says forecast opportunities plus 90 minutes outlook. It shows you all the different airports that has precipitation. Now you can come here and you can select different. So you can select, for example, low visibility, low ceiling, strong winds. You can pick, for example, this is at Wellington, strong winds there. Or you want thunderstorms, so you can select whatever you want. So we're going to select precipitation, for example. I'm going to go to the flight finder though, and I'm going to do the following. I say I want, for example, precipitation. Now you can also select the type of aircraft. So you can say I want, say, a regional jet, and then any region. You can go from any region to any airport. So you can select, for example, Europe. And then departure airport, prepare a major hub. You can select on or off. So we're going to select on. Flight length, so you can say I want a 45-minute flight. Ready in, let's say, will be ready in 30 minutes. And then you click here or find flight. Now what this does, it goes and it does its thing, and then it comes back with several flights that you can pick from. The first one it gave us is from Stockholm to Tallinn in Poland. It gives you everything that you need in order to fly this in. It gives you the actual weather radar, so it tells you that when you're flying here, it shows you how bad the weather is, and you can also here it gives you the precipitation forecast. Confidence is very high, approach impact is high, expected at arrival. So this is the radar now. It's 1740 Zulu. Covers the arrival window, so it gives you the actual window start, your planned arrival, and the window ends. Then it gives you all the information that you need here, the METAR and weather conditions. There's also, it looks like, wind shear. And then you can either view the details, you can share this flight if you want, or you can open it in SimBrief. So if you go to view details, now you have the full details of this flight right here with the METAR and all the other information. Then we can come back here, and now we can say you can share this flight if you want, and then you can also open it in SimBrief. So if you open this here, it goes directly to the SimBrief dispatch, which is very cool, and it already populates all the information for you. The only thing you need to do is select the airline, the flight number, and the aircraft that you want to fly, and then you set basically generate the flight for you. So I really like this site because I think it's very intuitive, and it really helps you with flying in specific weather conditions that you want to fly in. So I think it really is very useful, and I highly recommend it if you're like me, or sometimes you don't know where you want to fly, or you want to fly in specific weather to test certain features, for example. This is something That's something that can come in very, very handy for you guys. So I highly recommend it. Also, another thing I wanted to show you guys, let's just take a quick look here at the outside and enjoy the beautiful terrain here over Turkey. Look at map enhancement, how it completely revamps X-Plane. Wow. Very nice indeed. Okay, so another thing I wanted to show you guys is what we have done with FS Monitor. And if this is the first time that you see FS Monitor, it is the Flight Simulation Hub, Flight Simulation Use Hub that provides you with up-to-the-minute information as it releases. So this is your breaking news for flight simulation, if you will. Now, I have spent considerable time on FS Monitor, and this is the brand new look of the monitor. As you can see, it is a revamped look now with lots and lots of features. So first, what you'll see here very quickly, you'll see that you have all the live sources here. This is where all the data is coming from. So we have SimFlight, MSFS add-ons, Stormbird, Say Tensions, Just Flight, and 12 other sources. We have our first sponsor, Flight Deck Now. I highly recommend their software, guys. Very, very good. It works on your iPad. Check it out. Check out their website. It actually is very, very good. Okay, so here you have your featured story, and this changes as the news come in based on a heuristic score that is calculated based on what's actually in the headline with the use of artificial intelligence. You have the sim statuses here, so this gives you a status on MSFS, X-Plane, VATSIM, and IVO. You can click, by the way, on any of these, so you can click here on VATSIM. Gives you a little bit more information. Currently we have 1,995 pilots flying with 209 ATC active. It tells you a little bit quick facts about also VATSIM. It gives you all the links that are related to VATSIM all in one place. Okay. Next, you have here the videos. Those come from Say Intentions and AnyBuilds and other sources as they release their videos. You have your top stories here. And down here you say Sunday Digest. I currently have this on, so it says your weekly digest is active. Now, when you sign up for an account, you will be able to, you only need your email and password, but now you have the hub here. So this is where you can go to follow a certain developer. So this is kind of your hangar. And here you can actually select any developer you want. They are organized alphabetically. So I can say, for example, I want, let's say I want Just Flight. So it adds it, and I want to add Laminar Research. You have the breaking news alert for your browser. And if you click on the weekly Sim Digest, you will be able to receive a newsletter every Sunday at I think it is the 1400 Zulu is when it's shipped out. Now the nice thing about it is you can actually select which simulator you want. If you don't want to receive a newsletter for all the sims, you can select just X-Plane, for example, and you'll get only X-Plane news in the newsletter. You don't want the newsletter, simply click here, switch it off, and you will no longer receive the newsletter. Let's just make sure here what's going on. Okay. You want to delete your account completely, just put in your email, your password, click permanently delete, and that's it. So you'll have everything here. You can also bookmark items. We'll take a look at just now here. So these are the kind of stories that I'm following. These are my bookmarks, which says 4 articles saved. So a little bit of information there about the, what you have set here in your hangar. So this is basically where you go to set up everything here for your hangar. Now, from the main page here, you'll see now that I have following. So these are the developers I'm following. I'm following Just Flight and PMDG. So you can actually see them here. And if you click on Just Flight, you'll actually be taken to a page that also tells you a little bit about Just Flight. So it's a premier UK developer and publisher of high quality aircraft and scenery in for MSFS X-Plane and P3D. Gives you the year founded. Interesting, 1995, Huntington, UK. Known for their Piper 28 Cherokee and Hawk T1. I don't know how accurate that is, but... And then you have, of course, their website and forum as well, and you can set the following here. So very, very useful to customize. Now, you can tell me, for example, Q8, I don't want to see any MSFS news. Well, perfect. You can just come here to the filter feed, and here you can select your simulator. So you can select X-Plane 12 and all categories, and now the only news you'll see here is X-Plane 12 news. You will not see anything related to any other simulator, just only X-Plane 12 news. Okay? So, and you can of course select whatever you want. So I can select aircraft, I can select scenery, or you can select all categories, or you can come back here and say I want prepared. Obviously there's nothing for prepared. But yeah, it gives you a lot of features in order to customize the feed that you want. This fsmonitor.io is not something to replace FS Elite, Threshold, or any of the sources there. It is to complement them. Now, what I do is I do not provide editorial, so that I leave that to the actual source. So if you click, for example, on this story here, you'll get a very short summary, which is AI generated. It says famous flight releases the Boeing 707, the price to update the address, and says read the full article at MSFS addons. You can also share, you can save the bookmark here. You can share this with a friend if you want, so you can copy, the URL has been copied, and you can also react. So I can say this is hot, or, you know, aircraft, or, you know, whatever, you know, tickles your fancy. You can just select it here. And then, of course, you have more recent stories here as well, and you can customize everything to your liking so that you get the news that you want. Also, from here with Control and K, what did I do? So if I go to here, you can type in Control K, and it will pop up this search, and now you can search for anything you want. For example, if you write O, then it brings up everything that has, so OR, for example. Yeah, now you can see, you can search for anything you want, and it tells you what it is. Is it an announcement, a review, scenery, and so on and so forth. So very, very useful, again, for flight sim enthusiasts to stay up to date with all the information. Okay, and then you have also the briefing. So in the briefing, what you'll get is a snapshot of the most important details in that specific day. So today in Flight Sim, we have 50 stories this week, 35 from last week. The developer obviously is MSFS, but you have all the news for the new aircraft, hardware, so whatever hardware, announcements, videos, and the previous briefings if you're interested. And you get a little bit of metrics here to understand who's the most active developer and what are the top categories in the last 30 days. You also have access to all the sources either from the menu here or from clicking here. So if you click here, you get all the current sources there with their activity, their tier, and when was the last update. You can click also to visit these sources from within this page here. So this has been really, by the way, at the very top here, you have breaking news. This actually changes every 5 seconds, but the news is not necessarily fresh, but it just cycles through, the most important news in the last day or so. So yeah, this is something I wanted to show you guys. I felt that it was very useful. It's been really a labor of love, this project, and I have spent considerable time and effort on FS Monitor as a tribute to the Flight Sim community. We want to welcome with us this guy needs to be executed, guys. So let me just Okay, so we have executed the this guy, so it keeps telling us, beeping at us, so we've taken care of it. HD Sim, how are you doing, my friend? So you mean the 767 about the drawing the map? Yeah, it doesn't do it very well, unfortunately. And we've seen that quite evidently in the beginning. Just confirmed my newsletter subscription. Thanks, Rand. Let me know how it works. FS Monitor is awesome and cuts down on trying to keep up with what I'm interested in. Great time saver, thanks. Well, thank you very much for your words of encouragement, Stan. I really appreciate that. A very good evening to you, Mr. Yankee Kilo Sim. Welcome aboard. Glad to have you here with us. So yeah, I think, by the way, I have other things planned as well in terms of development. There is something I've been working on. I have not been able to perfect it yet. It is working sometimes and doing wonders, and sometimes doesn't really work. And that is an auto tuner for your X-plane settings for the maximum FPS possible. So it's not something that runs consistently, so it's not like live and keeps changing, but it helps you set that sweet spot for you. But it's still not where I really want it to be, and therefore, and I want to be able to test it on, several other machines other than mine. So we'll see how that goes. Mr. Salimi771, welcome aboard. Do you have X-World running as well? Yes, sir. So this is, let me bring the volume down here just a sec. Let me come over here. Let me reduce the volume. And maybe we can, oh, that's not what I wanted to do. No. Okay. All right, let's reduce the exterior. Okay. Yeah, that's much better. Okay. So here we have map enhancement, and we have SimHeaven X-World Pro, which is the new version of SimHeaven for X-Plane 12. And quite frankly, guys, I don't see myself flying without those two add-ons anymore. I don't really need anything for clouds or for weather. I think it works very well. So X-Plane default weather plus one Lua script, which is this one here. So let me show you. Fly with Lua. Macros, and then this one here. So I've shown this in previous streams as well. So it's called the X Pro Turb, and one of you guys actually told me about it, and I'm very glad that that I was let on this gem of a script because I think it works really well, and it makes the turbulence work very, very well. Now, to really see this effect very well, you can always disable X camera. So if I go here to X camera, where is X camera? We can disable it. Okay. It makes the mouse movement a little bit jittery, but you can come here to the view, and then you can say G-loaded camera. So we turn it on, and now we have the G-loaded camera working. It just really, without X camera, the movement inside the cockpit becomes a little bit more jittery. I like the smoothness of X camera, but then it will give you all the nice effects here as we plan our arrival. Okay, so if I look at Navigraph charts, and it looks like let me remove that here. Let's see here. Okay, so it looks like let's see. It looks like we should actually begin the descent shortly, because we are actually pretty close. So I think the TD destination here is definitely off. We're going to be descending from 33,000 feet. So what we're going to do, folks, is we're going to actually begin our descent. But first, we're going to come here. We're going to go to the init ref, and we're going to select flaps 30. And we're going to select 148. 148. We're going to set that here. Okay, perfect. And now we can actually begin the descent towards Ankara. Okay, so we are going to descend to 20,000 feet. So I'm going to set this to 20,000 feet. Because definitely the TD calculations are not correct. And we are going to come here, VS, and we are going to descend at 1,500 feet per minute. Right, so we've begun the descent now. You can now turn on G camera in X camera advanced settings. Oh, is it? All right, well, let's try that. So we can go to, all right, so that's X camera enabled. And we'll go to X camera, toggle control panel, go advanced settings. Ah, G-loaded camera, you are right.
Camera is saved.
Okay, perfect. Perfect. Thank you for that, Stan. Really appreciate it. I didn't know that it was there, but that's great. I'm glad that we have that because G-loaded camera is really, really good. Perfect. Thank you very much. All right, so we've begun our descent towards Ankara now. The weather is quite nice. Let's take a quick look at the weather forecast. It says it's not used. It keeps changing the runways there, but that's okay. All right, so we're going to go to the weather here. So the weather is actually fine. Visibility is great. Temperature is fine. 28, a little bit warm. But definitely a lot cooler than the temperature in Kuwait. Humidity, that's fine. Okay, so standard baro. Okay, so 1013. Okay, perfect. Right, so we'll continue our descent now. All is looking good, and we should be able to make it to our destination in approximately 20 minutes from now. Fly deck 1124, welcome aboard. Look at that, guys. Wow. Looks so, so good. So one of the videos that I'm planning for you guys, which should be, there we go, we have now some, there we go. Oh, look at that with the G-loaded camera. Gotta love that turbulence. So one of the things I'm planning for you guys is a X-Plane 12 settings guide for 2026. As we come to closure of this year, I think a lot of things have changed as far as, you know, graphic cards and, you know, the settings that I've been using lately. So I want to show you guys what really makes a difference. And maybe we'll also delve into how do you set up this sim to figure out your sweet spot. Because in X-Plane, the FPS can be extremely inconsistent in the same exact airport and the same exact aircraft. And now we can see the turbulence there. It looks really, really good. Yeah, very nice. Okay, so if we look down here, and we go to VNAV, Pro, okay. All right, so we're good here. Let me take a quick look there to see where we are. So we are going to increase our rate of descent to 2,000 feet per minute. There we go. Thousand feet. And by the way, the ILS frequency should be there by default. So if we go to the approach, yeah, once we are closer, we should be able to get the frequency here. So you don't actually set this. It's just like the 777, where it automatically tunes the frequencies. So, yeah, Okay, perfect. All is looking good here. And we continue our descent. That's the actual TD. So from there we want... Okay, let me check our... let's see here. I want to check our platform altitude. So platform altitude is 6,600. So quite an elevation there, isn't it? All right, so 6,600. And let's see here. That's the localizer. DH876. Come on. I'm sorry if you guys hear some... There's a tractor next to our house. My neighbor is rebuilding his house completely. And because the weather in Kuwait is very hot, workers cannot work during the day. It's very, very hot, guys. It's unbearable. 50 Celsius, so very, very hot. So they can only work in the evening, and that means that, you know, while I'm doing my streams, you know, we can hear the work outside. I hope it's not bugging you guys. Okay, so all is good here. We continue our descent, and everything is looking fine. We will stabilize here at 20,000. At the TD mark, we will begin our descent to 6,600, which is the platform altitude here, as you can see, 6,600. And all is good here. Let's take a look here. Again, very, very nice terrain over Turkey. One of the nicest countries to fly over. Always when I take a flight to Europe, always the route goes over Turkey if I'm flying from Kuwait, and it looks really, really nice flying over the mountains in Turkey. The terrain is quite nice. So the liveries is actually very nice as well. So far, we have had a troublesome start to this stream with the 767. So definitely there are a few bugs that requires attention from FlightFactor. Some things do not work very well. So yeah, definitely something that needs someone to take a look at. That's without a doubt. Overall, so far, I think the aircraft is okay. But if I consider the price of this aircraft versus the 777 by FlightFactor, I think this aircraft is significantly overpriced in all departments. So it doesn't have, you know, default sounds. They are not all that great. The texturing is fine, especially the cockpit. It's not bad. But the exterior textures can definitely use some work. So, in all honesty, the aircraft has not received improvements over time. Or let me backtrack. The aircraft has received very minimal updates to ensure compatibility with different versions of X-Plane. But in terms of actual feature enablement and changes to, you know, really improving the aircraft, where it justifies either an upgrade fee or the current price of the aircraft, I think it fails to deliver, in all honesty. And I really love FlightFactor. I like the company. I like the guys. I like Ramses. And I think the FlightFactor 777 is by far the very best implementation of a 777 aircraft for flight simulation. Though the FMC still is incomplete, and it has some in-op features, I still think that it's in terms of its replication of the actual aircraft operation in real life, I think is unmatched up to this point. And I think it's an aircraft that's really worth its money. Now, if you look at the price of the 777, the 767, the 757, the best of them is definitely, without a doubt, the 777. And those aircraft, like the A350 by FlightFactor, the A320. The A320, by the way, is a disaster right now. It's really, really bad. It has a lot of issues, and it needs serious attention from the guys over at FlightFactor. It has not received a lot of love from FlightFactor, and therefore not very good reviews from myself as well. It was, at the time of its release, the very best Airbus A320 for a flight sim. It was just amazing. And it's a shame, I think, that they decided to abandon the aircraft, because it's really very good. I think it's one of the at the time of its release, it was really, really good. Unfortunately, I cannot say that about that aircraft now, and definitely hope that they would pay attention to it, because I think it has a good base. In fact, I think Tolis has used the FlightFactor A320 shell in the beginning. I'm not sure if it's still the case, but they definitely used something from the A3, or were they helping them? I really don't know, but there is definitely a correlation between the two aircraft. So we are almost there now. At the TD mark, we will set the altitude. So I'm going to set the altitude now. You can go to VNAV. Okay, let's set this to 660. There we go, 660. So definitely the aircraft needs work, and at present, I don't think that this aircraft, the price of $79 is justified at this point, to be completely honest. As much as I like FlightFactor, I think this is one of the things that they seriously need to look at, because it's just not all that great right now, and it really needs a lot of improvements, in my opinion, to be eligible for that asking price. So, and by the way, it's highly dated, so yeah, it definitely needs work. That would be my honest opinion about the FlightFactor 767-400ER. Okay, so we are almost there now, and we should begin the descent to 6,600. So we should be fine. We'll arrive. Should be a nice approach into Ankara this evening. I'm going to set the brakes here, auto brake to number 2. And there is the top of descent. And we can put the terrain radar here. We'll put the weather there this time. Doesn't look like the terrain radar is working. I don't get anything, so I assume that it's not working. Okay, so we are going to reduce the speed. I don't know why VNAV isn't working anymore, but that's okay. And we are going to go vertical speed, and we'll go at 2,000 feet per minute. Let's take a quick look here. Okay. By the way, that's the airport ahead of us right there. That's the airport right there. But we're going to make a turn and come back. Wow, look at this, guys. Wow, this looks so nice. Looks really, really good. Q8, the thumbnail for your stream is just AI slope and bad. It's not even close to a 767. Well, first of all, the 767 is actually a screenshot from the sim. So I know a lot of you guys come and tell me, I mean, you leave everything and you just go, oh, your thumbnail is AI generated. Yes, it's AI generated. I gave it a reference image and I tell it what I want. Gives me a really nice title, and it saves me a lot of time, which I don't have. So please ignore the thumbnail if you don't like it. I don't know what else to tell you guys. Just all right. So one of the things, again, you'll see here, it keeps jumping. The localizer and glide slope keeps jumping on the. All right, we're gonna actually extend the speed brake here, slow us down a little bit. And we'll set the altimeter to look there, 1013, and here 1013. Great block feature in YouTube chat. Suggest using it. I don't do that, guys. That's fine. I don't like to block anyone for just saying things I don't agree with. I mean, that's okay. That's perfectly fine. People are entitled to their opinion, and I respect it. I don't have to agree, but I definitely respect everyone's opinion, and I respect their right to also be able to come to the Q8 Pilot channel and voice it, even if it's criticism. That's okay. That's perfectly fine with me. Okay, so we are looking good here, and this is going to be another spectacular approach, I think, with Map Enhancement and SimHeaven Pro. And we just need to get our speed down, and we'll be fine. It's going to be interesting to see how the aircraft handles for landing. For the takeoff, it felt a bit weird, and we've had issues with it as well. But let's see how it handles for the landing. We'll see how it all works in the end. Okay, set this there. Q8, why do you use AI slope in your thumbnails? First of all, I think it's your opinion that it's AI slope. Okay, I think this term has been used time and again, and I don't think people really understand what it means. Slope means low effort. Okay, that's what it means. Do you think that that this doesn't take time? It does take time. It does take effort. But it produces much better thumbnails, a lot better than what I can do on my own using Photoshop. I'm not a graphic designer. So it helps me save a lot of time, and it delivers the job. If you want to call it slop, and you want to labor over the issue, that's perfectly fine. It's your opinion, and I respect it. But I humbly disagree with you on calling it AI slope. But yeah, I understand why people really don't like AI, but everything now, you're you're using is powered by AI now. So time saving isn't that obvious because it's much faster and convenient to do. I'm not sure the question of using AI or not is how you use it. It is very obvious that it saves a lot of time. Right, 10,000 feet, ladies and gents. We're going to turn on the runway turn-off lights. Landing lights are on. And we are going to make sure that... all right, so we're down to 220 now. Right, 220. Wow, look at this, guys. Very, very nice indeed. We're looking good. We can actually fly to Buck once we are at our final platform altitude. So we're actually looking very good. And we can make the turn. Why is the terrain radar not working? I can see that there's nothing there. Strange. Doesn't work. Right, another 2,000 feet. Let's see here. 220, 170, 800 is where we want to be at. So, all right, so let's set that. Let's take a look here. Wow, look at that, guys. Looks so nice, doesn't it? Why do you find, what do you find more enjoyable to fly? MSF, X-plane. Definitely X-plane. Right, there we go. We can bring back the speed brake and let's arm it. All right, speed brake is armed.
2,500.
We're looking good here, 6,800. Speed down to 220 knots.
2,500.
And what we can do is we can actually fly to Buck if we want right now. Okay, everything here is set. Okay, let's just make sure that why don't we have the radio? Let me go to radio here real quick. We do have the ILS frequency here set. So 108.3. Okay. Nav radio. Okay, so the ILS is set. Very good. VHF radio set. Okay, perfect.
2,500.
All right. Let me go ahead now and go to the flight plan. And we're going to select... wow, you can see the turbulence there. So we're going to select... we can select Buck. Buck, that's the final fix. All right, so let's select Buck. We're going to select...
2,500.
let's see, why is it? All right, that's right. Okay. So we're going to say execute. Right, and that's the turn. Right, and we're going to decrease our speed to 170 knots. Wow, you gotta love the turbulence there with the G-loaded camera. Right, it's flaps 5. All right, very good. And we're gonna go approach. Okay. Okay, we're gonna go heading select.
Twenty-five hundred.
And that's the runway ahead of us now. Okay, let's go ahead and select flaps 20. And let's lower the landing gear. Right, reduce our speed. Okay, looking good. All right, so if we look here very quickly, 2 on right, we're looking okay. Looks like the glide slope isn't active. So what we're going to do, folks, is we are going to set this to, I'll leave that alone. Let's take this down to the reference speed, which is 148. Okay. And we're going to go flaps 30. And I will disconnect the autopilot. And we'll hand fly the approach now. We have the runway in sight. So yeah, for some reason it did not really intercept the localizer, so definitely some things are not working in this aircraft as they should, but that's okay. We will just do it ourselves and land the aircraft. Make some minor, actually he flies pretty nice, so really nice to hand fly the aircraft. Not as good as the 777, but Still enjoyable aircraft to hunt fly. Gotta love the turbulence from the G-loaded window, or the G-loaded view. Okay, well, looking good here. Very nice approach here into Ankara.
500. 400.
Let's kill the auto throttle. Bit too low.
200. 100. 50. 40. 30. 20. 10. 5.
Wow. That wasn't very good now, was it? I think I did not pay attention to the speed, and the speed was dropping. Yeah, well, we're gonna take a look anyway. But this is really nice, very nice scenery. Yeah, let's take a quick look here. What did I do? Oh, that's not what I wanted to do. Okay. All right, we'll go right about here, and let's take a look. Wow, look at those lights with HDR. It's really good. Here's our favorite view. Well, I don't think that was very clear, so let's do it again. Sounded a little, it looked as if it's a little bit more exaggerated than it actually is. But let's take a look here. There. I think this will show us exactly how we've touched down. Yeah, not too bad, is it? Wow, X-Plane is really looking good, guys. We'll do it one more time with the wing view, perhaps. There we go. Very nice. Very nice indeed. Okay. Right, welcome to Ankara, ladies and gents. Let's retract the flaps. And we will come here and start the APU. Landing, we can remove the strobe. Landing lights off. Nose gear off. Taxi lights on. Runway turn-off lights off. And we can also disarm the auto brake. Wow, X-Plane is looking absolutely gorgeous. Do you think the Lua turbulence script could be exaggerated, the landing? No. The Lua, it only simulates turbulence, so it's got nothing to do. It's the exaggerated landing effect that you saw is XP realistic, so it needs to be adjusted a little bit. But yeah, it's not the Lua script, definitely. Wow, the X-Plane lighting just looks fantastic. Wow, are we getting the terrain radar now? Oh, it's a bit too late for that. Yeah, we'll just bring the aircraft to a stop here. It looks like this is some sort of a cargo area of some sort. Not sure. Or maybe a local terminal. I don't know. But anyway, we'll bring the aircraft to a stop here. Alright, parking brake set. The APU is now running, perfect. So we're going to come here, put this APU bleed on, and we're going to kill the engines. So engine right and left. We're going to kill the taxi light. Alright, let's wait for the N1. Right, that's great. We can now come and turn off the beacon light. We already have the engine bleeds can go off. And there you have it. The 767-400ER for X-Plane 12 by FlightFactor. Okay, so my final remarks, guys, on the aircraft is that the issues that the aircraft has had for the longest time are kind of still perpetuating after all this time and this many updates, which confirms that the aircraft is not really on the FlightFactor radar for active development, but they continue to update the aircraft for compatibility with different versions of X-Plane. The aircraft hasn't really improved in the sense that it would justify its current asking price of $79. That is a lot of money for an aircraft that hasn't received improvements, still use a very dated EFB. The drawing of flight plans in the FMC remains to be an issue since the release of the aircraft. Still doesn't look right. This aircraft has always had issues with the capturing ILS, glide slope, and all of that good stuff. So all of these issues that we've encountered, and by the way, the inability to take off the first time, all of these issues are repeat issues that I have seen in all previous versions of the FlightFactor 767-400ER. And therefore, it is my opinion that this aircraft is not really worth its asking price at this point in time. Now, if this aircraft was in the 40s or 50s range, it would be an aircraft that I would consider recommending with the caveat that you might still run into issues. But as it stands today, guys, I cannot recommend this aircraft for you. And so it would be my recommendation to not invest in this aircraft and perhaps invest in the FlightFactor 777, which is an amazing, amazing add-on for X-Plane 12. And with that, ladies and gents, we come to the conclusion of our live stream today. I want to thank you very much for being here this evening. And I really enjoyed being with you. I really enjoyed flying in X-Plane across Turkey from Bodrum to Ankara. But the time has come for me to call it a night and head to bed. So until next time, please take care of yourselves and each other. And I will see you all very soon. Thanks for tuning in, and bye-bye for now.